Hey guys, it's Godbars here, the self-proclaimed hip-hop historian, and this is the 286th episode of my series where I grab a vinyl from my collection, talk about why I love it, what influence it has, and what its place is in the grand scheme of hip-hop. So I'll admit this is definitely a bit late when it comes to modern artists that don't really need much of an introduction. The late icon Mac Miller, who insanely passed away nearly 7 years ago now. Though I remember that day like it was yesterday, and I'm sure the same goes for many of his fans around my age. Mac was another example of an MC that I kind of went back and forth on over the years. Because when I was in 8th grade or so and first started hearing him through all my friends bumping his music and bringing him up in conversation, I wasn't exactly the most open-minded hip-hop head. And while I'm still to this day not a massive fan of that early Kids, Donald Trump, Mac Miller output, I was definitely being a bit of a contrarian at the time and wasn't even really giving his work a genuine try. Which changed a couple years later when he started releasing LPs that I enjoyed much more and even formed a connection to, like with today's pick, 2013's Watching Movies with the Sound Off. This thing is just insanely nostalgic for me and just packed with moments that take me back to my early high school days. However, even when I remove the rose-tinted glasses, this album is full of immersive, dark production similar to the type of instrumentals enlisted by close collaborators and contemporaries of Mac's at the time like Earl Sweatshirt or Vince Staples, who definitely were both key players when it came to pushing this late legend to be a more heady, complex, and skilled writer, as well as producer, which, similar to Earl with Some Black Guy, saw Mac employ a second moniker for when he made beats, that of course being Larry Fisherman. I think you could definitely make the argument that this dude progressively improved as an artist year after year up until his tragic passing. However, it may just be my personal bias for the era, but my favorite project Mac Miller ever released is definitely his 2014 Faces LP, which without a doubt would have been the topic of today's review, but the only copies I've personally come across are insanely expensive box sets that I haven't really felt like springing for. And frankly, his second official studio full-length here has virtually all the elements that make the follow-up so amazing. This was clearly a rapper who held a strong reverence for 90s hip-hop. I mean, I remember back in the day when Jay-Z shouted out Mac in a tweet, and he literally framed it and hung it in his house. Plus, it's a touching and inspiring case of hard work paying off, because when you really sit down and look back at the extensive discography of features and collaborations he had, any actual hip-hop head would have to concede that clearly there was a method to the madness. Like, not just anyone gets to share a track with the likes of Sean Price. And I don't mean in some massive posse cut where everybody sent their verses in without ever meeting. I remember there being a cut off an old Static Selected tape that had just Mac and Pete going back to back, and that in itself should be a testament to Malcolm's capabilities on the mic. He also really set himself apart with the more laid-back, stoner energy he approached rapping with, and I feel like that's just another element where 13-year-old me didn't quite appreciate or understand this sort of relaxed style, especially considering so much of the material I was consuming came in the form of more hardcore in-your-face rap, like Wu-Tang Clan or NWA. But just like many other aspects of his music, the idiosyncratic flow and delivery that Mac utilized totally grew on me with age. One of my favorite lyrical sections on here that shows how talented this dude was with his pen comes on the track SDS, where we get some killer imagery, rhyme schemes, and metaphors with "Close my eyes before I cross the street. If a car about to hit me, then he ought to beat. Watching Dawson's Creek till I fall asleep. It's harder than it seems, I'm underwater in my dreams. I'm in awe, this jigsaw puzzle's not complete. I'm just an idea, nothing concrete. I came to raise limits, get higher than plane engines, they trying to change with us but come to the same difference. Shut your pie hole, I'm dope and I know. My voice sounds like it was sampled off of vinyl. I don't mind those hating on my style. I tend to take the high road, get stoned and fly low. I'm no god, I don't think that I'm a human though, cause I'm so odd. People selling drugs cause they can't find no job. Wonder if Christ made $1 million off of selling the cross. Let bygones be bygones, my mind strong as pythons. The day that I die on will turn me to an icon. Search the world for Zion or a shoulder I can cry on. The best of all time, I'm Dylon, 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 Dylon. One more highlight I want to share from watching movies with the sound off comes on a more underrated cut off the back end of the LP titled Aquarium, where Mac delivers one of his best performances on the whole album, rapping, "Forever life been never nice, we expedite the process, and every night I get advice, cause life is way too complex. Heaven's lights are hella bright, ironic how that came to be, but can't you see? This angel speaks, she's saying the place is safe for me, I told her wait for me. The make-believer normally disguise, transform before your eyes and glorifies euphoric highs. The morning rises and I'm fast asleep, somewhere off in the master suite, having dreams of Latin queens and nasty freaks. My mind, it wanders to places yonder and even farther. When I'm sleepwalking, I'm Stephen Jobs or I'm Peter Parker, a genius author, a Jesus preach and just to feed his daughter. The weed to spark up, yeah, he's a goner. Fuck these prima donnas. I'll always wonder what happened 3,000 years ago. I like to toy with the idea that we really know. Is what I do important in the grand scheme of things? In my head, these dreams are dreamt. Trust me, we are kings. I also want to quickly share the personal, revealing, and poignant hook that accompanies this song, which goes, "I'm wearing a blindfold, like where did the time go? I know you hear me up there, give me a sign though. I'ma follow you wherever your mind go. Baby, I'ma follow you wherever your mind go. Take me away, girl, somewhere they won't be, hold me closely. Look at me, don't speak. Will you follow me wherever my mind go?" This album includes a pretty iconic set of early 2010s features, all of whom are still at it today. Those being Ab-Soul, Action Bronson, Schoolboy Q, Earl Sweatshirt, and Tyler the Creator, with those last two also assisting with some of the production on this thing. Speaking of which, while a good amount of the beats were handled by Mac himself, aka Larry Fisherman, there's also an impressive roster of producers who assisted him in putting these atmospheric instrumentals together, including Diplo, The Alchemist, Clem's Casino, Jay Hill, ID Labs, Sap, Ado the God, Chuck English of the Cool Kids, Pharrell Williams, and Flying Lotus. When it comes to my honorable mentions on this one, I ended up cutting them down to tracks like The Star Room, Avion, SDS, I Am Who Am, Killing Time, Objects in the Mirror, Red Dot Music, G's, Suplexes Inside Complexes and Duplexes, Someone Like You, and The Quest. Then with my top 3 favorite songs overall, I would probably have to go with I'm Not Real, Matches, and Aquarium. Thank you for watching my 286th video. Next time we're going to knock out 2 overdue underground legends in one, so look for that upload, and if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what your favorite songs are off this personal nostalgia pick for me. Don't forget to have a great day, and I'll see you next time, okay? Alright.